Ciao Franco, buonasera.
Ciao John, ciao a tutti, hi to everybody, and lots of enormous gratitude to you, John, to Soren, and to this huge community. So during the meditation comes to my mind the words that you sometimes are used to mention, words about Dante Alighieri. You know, in the middle of the journey of our life, I found myself in the dark forest, and the straight way was lost.
La via smarrita.
Exactly. So I think that we lost the right way many times ago, and this is the moment to find the light in this moment of darkness.
Mm.
So my question is from myself and also from some friends of the MBSR community here in Italy, in Motus Mundi, and I want to speak for all the MBSR teachers, that in this moment there are some perplexity also to move to teach MBSR online, live online. I had this opportunity in this last month for the coronavirus. It was the first time. We are not used to teach online in Italy. And but I found the people a lot sense of relief and the community sense of to be in touch and to sustain, to support this difficult moment. So my question is, can you give us some suggestion, your opinion? We are also sharing this digital way that is giving a lot of joy for myself, for all of us. And I want to bring this joy and this support in the MBSR. In this moment, the online is the only way. So what do you think, John?
It doesn't matter what I think, actually. Every one of us needs to follow our own heart and to trust, to trust that everything is in our interconnectedness. So we might feel, I certainly feel the same. I mean, I'm not used to being online digitally in this way and no script. And I'm trying really hard not to script it and, have it be, sort of, I'm just reading something or, but to just trust that what emerges by us coming together is necessary and important. So I would say, not just to you, Franco, but to all MBSR teachers and everybody who has something that they feel they want to reach out and share or connect around in this world, to actually do it, because we are in a new world at the moment. We're never going back to pre-COVID-19. This is a global moment that is really either a lesson we're going to learn about wakefulness and selflessness and liberation and freedom and the nature of what it means to be truly human, or are going to go back into a nightmare scenario of neoliberal capitalist control or whatever it is, to the point where the levels of suffering and the levels of disregard and differentiating between the haves and the have-nots is only going to go to nightmare proportions. And so I think this is a critical time for us as humans to wake up to the fact that the metaphor I sometimes use is we're all cells of the one body of the planet, or of the body politic, so to speak. And we need to take far more responsibility for that deep interconnectedness. Because without that, all of these kinds of, there's a whole history of times of crisis being times when the government takes over more power, and it gets normalized so that it's very, very hard for the power to actually be distributive among all of us. But that's like, to say, the heart taking over all the blood and not letting the liver have any, because it doesn't like the liver, or it doesn't like the way other muscles look in the body, or bones or something like that. If every cell of the body doesn't get enough blood supply, that's not good for our long-term health, as even the heart. So we need to learn how to recognize each other in ourselves and find a new way to live on this planet. Global warming was going to be an issue no matter whether we had a pandemic now or not. But Bill Gates predicted that we were going to have this pandemic only 3 or 4 years ago, and people did not listen to Bill Gates, which is quite remarkable given how much he has been able to contribute in this world. And now we need to wake up. Mindfulness is all about wakefulness. It's all about realization. It's about freedom. And we need to find ways to introduce that into our politics, into our economics, into our ethics, into our education systems. And we need all hands on deck. I said this, I think, the other day. If we are on Buckminster Fuller's Spaceship Earth, then now's the time for all hands to be on deck, because the spaceship itself is under giant threat. And it's very important when we have this pandemic behind us to not forget about it and go back to what used to be normal, because that normal was the cause of an enormous amount of inequality, injustice, and suffering that is what we need in order to wake up to the possibilities for humanity and life way beyond our own species on the planet, and not in the next 1,000 years, but not even in the next 100 years, but I think in the next 5 or 10 years, for the sake of our children, our grandchildren, our grandchildren's grandchildren. That's, as far as I'm concerned, what the stakes are. So I appreciate you asking this question, because I know there are a lot of people out there who are MBSR teachers, MBCT teachers, MBCP teachers. I won't go into what all these letters mean. And many of you who are on this call, every single human has something to share with the world. Now's the time to actually embody what's deepest and best in ourselves, and not worried about how it's going to look, you know, whether we're going to be completely coherent, or whether, you know, we are going to make mistakes or anything like that. Let's trust in our truest nature to actually take care of not only us, but the world. That requires a certain kind of bravery, Franco. So you have to go beyond what you think your capacity is. And that's part of the mindfulness practice, is to not believe your own PR about how incompetent you may be, or how who am I to teach this kind of Dharma practice or whatever. Who are you not to do it? And then learn from it. You'll learn from whatever it is that you choose to do, if you choose to actually do it. You know this. I'm not telling you or anybody else anything that we don't already know, but sometimes it's helpful to hear these kinds of things about 50 billion times before it gets into our thick skull.
Thank you.
Ciao and grazie.